Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Hard Nine podcast. Today is February the 27th, and just like when 23 went to 45, he said two little words. We're going to change it, but we're back.
Yeah, I don't know what to say to that. But he did say that. And Michael
Just
Jordan
a
did
little,
say that.
he said, I'm back, but I couldn't do that because that felt a little selfish. So, look, we would like to apologize right off for the hiatus. I think it's been almost 3 weeks since we put out a podcast. That's like the longest we've ever gone. Unfortunately, about 3 weeks ago, my mother-in-law passed away, Caleb's grandma. That really sent everything into a spiral for a couple of weeks. We just sort of now got back to life. We were
I
back,
haven't.
right. We were back home um, for 10 days. My wife is still or gone back to Illinois now. Then Caleb went to Austin. So there's been all kinds of things. We've said it before, life gets in the way. This time life really smacked us in the face. Thank you to everyone who reached out. I got some really nice text messages from a lot of you. Thank you guys. I greatly appreciate that. But we're back and we're hoping to now be back for good.
Yeah, it's good to be back. And just as we're back, baseball's also back. So that's a big thing that's happening. The Cardinals are back in spring training. A lot of good stuff's going on there. It's nice. It's nice to be back in baseball season. Climate change is hitting Champaign, Illinois like a rock right now. It feels like summer and it's February. I don't know what's going on here.
Well, you might
But
get
I'm
snow
enjoying
tomorrow,
it.
right?
Yeah, it's supposed to tornado tonight and then drop 40 degrees. So it's climate change smacking us right back down. It did give us a few good days though.
Yeah.
I was kind of pissed off that three of the really great days we get in February, that like never happens was this weekend and I was in the South. So I like picked a really bad day to get away from the cold.
Bro, you were in Austin and you went to
It was
Terry
really cool.
Black's. Not one person feels sorry for you knowing you went to Terry Black's.
It's amazing. Yeah, that
Yeah.
place is I had never heard of it, but they were given like samples of their brisket so they could be like, "Hey, do you want this?" And I legitimately gasped. I couldn't believe what I was eating. That place is amazing. If you ever get a chance, go.
It's
It's
on my
really
list.
good.
Where else did you hit for our Austin fans out there or our Austin future fans?
I don't really know any of the bars names, but we went to a lot of there were a couple bars we went to that were like secret bars. We had to like have passcodes to get in. I felt
Woo!
like they were like speakeasy style things. Like they were
Uh-huh.
like it was very gimmicky, but the drinks were really good. Um, they pour, I was laughing because Chris was like they pour their drink strong here. I was like, go to New Orleans. They don't.
Come
Um,
down here. Come down here.
yeah, but it was really cool. And there were a couple of restaurants we went to. We went to a burger place that I got an avocado egg burger with like a burger. It was really good.
Yeah.
I don't remember the
Austin,
other names.
like New Orleans, known for its food. Just different, obviously.
Very good food. Everywhere we went
Known
was really good.
known for its beef, known for its barbecue. Cannot wait to go to Terry Black's. I think Franklin's is another one of the big barbecue places. There's two or three
Mm.
of them that are. I mean, there's a bunch, but there's like, is it Stubbs? Is that the other one? Maybe. I
I don't
think
know.
so.
We only went to
Yeah.
one.
I mean, obviously, there's tons of them.
Also had
I
really good
texted you.
tacos.
I said, get the brisket everywhere. Like that's the
Yeah, I
key.
also had really good tacos down there. I don't remember the name of that place either. Sorry, but they were really good. Um, Good food.
Um.
I recommend going for. We also very clean city, very easy to travel around. It was fun.
All right. Great to hear. Great to hear. It's on our list. When you got back, the news dropped. Brandon Crawford is a St. Louis Cardinal. I'm gonna say this, and then I'll let you kind of go from there because I know you had a lot of things to say. I really like the move, not just on the surface, not just for the reason. I mean, obviously, it does sort of signal a question, maybe about Tommy Edman, maybe not. But if nothing else, we have talked on here many times. Not a lot of shortstop depth in the organization. So JC moving to short, probably full time in Memphis, but you
We'll
got to
see.
give him some time. Like you've got to give him some time, even if it's
He's
bad
trying.
translating. You got to give him some time, right? Mason Wynn obviously going to be your shortstop here, but Brandon Crawford to me makes just a lot of sense to have that guy on the bench. But what it does make me do is really scratch my head on why the fuck Matt Carpenter is on this team.
That's the only problem I have with it. Like, it's kind of similar to me. Like when we signed Kyle Gibson, and I was like, I like Kyle Gibson. I'm glad I think he's gonna do a good job. He's gonna serve a role here and probably help the team win some games. But I felt like that following Lance Lynn made it look weird. And I feel the same way about this. Like for me, I like Mike Carpenter a lot. If you wouldn't have signed Matt Carpenter and you would have just signed Brandon Crawford, great. Like I would have been even bigger of a fan of this move. The move on the surface I really like. I think you needed a guy that could play shortstop. So one of the things Ollie and Mo talked about today was that allows Tommy Edman to stay in center field when he's healthy, which I like a lot. Stop moving guys around and wondering
Yes.
why your defense is inconsistent. I can tell you why. They don't know where they're playing ever. Like that's why, and they're not getting any continuity. So I like that. I like that. It seems like Donovan's going to be really the only roamer around the infield, and I like that aspect of that as well. And also Crawford is a veteran guy. I really like he's won a lot. He's seen a lot. He's
Three.
a yeah. I don't know two. He wasn't on 2010 team.
Oh, okay. My apologies. Are you sure?
Yeah, it came up in 2011. I looked at
Okay,
it
my
today.
apologies. I thought he was on 10.
But
Okay.
he did play a big role in two of them and started shortstop every
Yeah.
day. I had nothing I was going to say. Oh, I don't expect him to hit much. I don't expect him, but and I know they were really down on his defense last year metrically, but I know that I can put Brandon Crawford at shortstop for games, and he is going to not hurt me. Like I know
Okay.
that he's going to make the plays. He's going to do a fine job. I don't need him to be Gold Glove Brandon Crawford because he's not even going to get that opportunity unless there's an injury. So I like all of that. I just think Alec Burleson now can't be on this team. Like even if Tommy's hurt, so Carlson's in center field, you need to replace Carlson with a righty. You can't have three lefties on your bench. And if everyone's healthy, there's literally no spot for Alec Burleson. So Alec Burleson's in AAA where he's traded because he cannot be on this team right now the way it's built.
Well,
He
here's the
can't.
question. If Tommy Edman is hurt for an extended amount of time, and we still don't know that, that has not come out.
Mhm.
Like that has not been said from the organization. We just are trying to read the tea leaves
He's
here.
on his way back.
Right.
He might miss a couple of
Um,
weeks, but it won't be
but
extended.
I mean, if Edman isn't on the opening day roster, Alec Burleson has to be your fourth outfielder, doesn't he? Or is it Brendan
Nope.
Donovan?
Uh, that's a good question. I would pick a righty. Find a
Who?
right-handed outfielder.
Who?
I hold on, let me think.
They
Yeah, they
don't
don't have
have one.
anyone. They don't
They're
have
not going to bring.
anyone.
They're not going to bring
But
Victor Scott up unless he's going to start every day in center field. They're not going to
you
do.
can't do that. I want
Okay,
to get.
agreed.
I want to get to that in a second. So table that for 1 second. But I don't think they're going to do
It
that.
is officially
Um.
tabled.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
They like Tommy Pham would have made more sense than Matt Carpenter on this team. You know what I mean? Like
You you would have made more sense on this team than Matt Carpenter.
no, that's not true. Matt Carpenter serves a purpose. He's that's not completely like
He
he.
doesn't.
If without Brandon Crawford, Matt Carpenter made a lot of sense. He does a lot of things that are going to help you from a guy that's not going to play much. You're going to have. Did you like the Atlanta Braves? Their team. They have four bench guys that don't play. So
Okay.
it's fine if you have guys that don't play on your bench. Good teams do that. Most good. If you're a good team, a lot of guys on your bench aren't playing because the ones that are playing are good.
So
So
again,
that's
I go
fine.
back to the question though. Like it has to be Alec Burleson, which gives you three lefties on the bench
But
because you don't
it
have
can't be
another.
though. Then like it can't be. You got to find someone else. If whether that's signing a guy to knowing that he might be gone soon. I don't know. Like for me, it's a kind of the Matt Carpenter signing is a disaster to
Are
me. Like
you?
it's so bad.
Did you just say Taylor Motter is going to be the fourth outfielder for the St. Louis Cardinals in 2024?
I
Is
did
that what
not
you
say
just
that.
said?
I'd rather have Alec Burleson hitting against lefties. So no, I didn't.
But I mean,
It's
honestly,
weird
like
though,
they
but
are,
I
they
don't
are
know.
the only guy down there is Lucan Baker. That's your only right-handed bat.
Yeah, and you can't. He serves no
Like
purpose on this
he
team.
serves no purpose in your outfield, and he's not going to play
Well, he
first.
can't. I swear to
Right.
God, if I see Luke and Baker running around the outfield, that Wilson Contreras can be your fourth outfielder.
I
I
mean,
don't know.
honestly, there's
I
just
don't
not a
know.
guy.
It has to be Donovan then, and that's fine. Donovan can be your fourth outfielder until Carlson's back, and maybe that is what maybe the move is. Luke and Baker is going to be up for a few
Right.
weeks, and then Donovan's acting as your fourth outfielder, and things
Yeah.
are fine because we're okay with putting Gorman a second every day if you have to.
Yeah. I agree.
That's actually that works. I think that
That's the
works.
only one that makes sense because you're not going to put Baker in the outfield. Obviously, you're not going to bring Victor Scott up if he's not playing every day. By the way, we can table this too, but rumors are swirling that Jackson Holiday might make the Orioles opening day roster. That would
He's
be
projected to.
that would be I'm here for it. I'm hoping it happens. We don't have to get to that right now, but that had to come out of the brain because it
Yeah.
was
So Alec Burleson, like, well, I mean, he wasn't very good last year. He wasn't horrible, but he wasn't very good. And I'm wondering if, like, I have a couple questions here. One, did they know that they wanted a backup shortstop when they signed Matt Carpenter? Like, did they know? I don't know the answer of that because you
don't
would
know.
think, because I remember saying that a backup shortstop made a lot more sense at the time than Matt Carpenter. And if you did know, then I don't get the Matt Carpenter signing. But maybe it's a case where they didn't know because they thought Tommy would be able to do that. And then now he's stepped back and they're starting to panic a little bit. Um, Knowing that if Tommy's out for 3 weeks, that means Mason Witten has to play every single day if you don't have someone else here. So maybe that's just what it is. But also, like, would Nick Ahmed make more sense because he's at least right-handed? Like, at least he gives you that platoon advantage. Like,
I
but he's already signed.
what did he get from San Francisco?
I
Did you
think he
see
got a
it?
minor league deal,
Okay, yeah.
and
Because
Crawford
I
got a
am
major league
surprised by
deal.
that. Yes. Yes.
Like, oh, let me make sure that that's right. He might have got a major league deal. At the very least, I don't think he's going to be
Let
making vastly more than
let me ask
Crawford.
you this too, and we've talked about this a little bit. Terrible at times 40-man roster construction. Explain to me if you go out and sign Brandon Crawford, why Jose Fermin is still on your 40-man roster.
Um, I'm okay with that. There's other players that I would have off before Jose Fermin because at least he can
Yeah, but
play all
we've
infield
gotten rid of
positions.
guys that I don't think you necessarily needed to get rid of.
Like who?
Well, Gomez potentially.
He's still hitting the organization.
Oh, that and who was then wasn't there a pitcher, right? Was it Juniga?
Yeah, yeah, but he had like a 7.5
I get it.
ERA at
I
AAA
get it,
last
but
year.
I'm like, who has maybe a more upside? A guy who throws 101 or Jose Fermin?
Yeah, but I think it's them wanting to keep their 40-man 2020 possession players pitchers. That's what it is. So I mean that is what they I mean you wanted an answer. That's why they do it. Like whether you
Yeah,
agree with that or not. Like
right.
1921, like that's not a big difference either.
Nick Ahmed,
But
yes, would have made sense. I agree.
he's a minor league deal too, which
Yeah.
I like you gave like he's I don't know. I don't understand that.
Well,
But I like Crawford a lot, but
did I misunderstand that did the Cardinals give Crawford a minor league deal also?
major
Oh, that's
league.
what they said on MLB Network this morning.
Well, they were wrong. It's a major league
Okay.
deal.
Okay. I thought so too, but I heard that, and maybe I heard the Ahmed thing and I missed
Yeah.
what they were saying.
Yeah, because people are like, well, maybe it's a minor league deal. Why would Brandon Crawford? He would just retire. Like, why would he
Right.
do that?
Yeah, agreed. I agree. Um, I'm happy he's here. Like I'm fine with that deal. It does make you question like what the severity of Tommy's injury is, but even still, what one way or the other, like I like the idea of Tommy, you're not a shortstop anymore, you're a center
Mhm.
fielder. I love
Yeah.
that.
That's what it should
Um,
be. Like, let
yeah,
Mason Wynn play shortstop 6 times a week. Brandon Crawford once. Like I'm okay with Brandon Crawford getting a Thursday and a Sunday start in a week
bingo.
against a righty. Cool.
Yeah,
Like, cool. He
bingo.
might, and there might be a stretch. Would it surprise you if he has a stretch where he's good? He's playing every day for a couple of weeks. No, that wouldn't shock me. Like Brandon
Yeah,
Crawford.
that I would
No,
not
Brandon
like that.
Crawford's a really good major league player. So if there's a week where Mason Wynn's a little banged up and you have to run
Okay,
Crawford out 6 times, cool. And he
okay,
might
there you
hit
go.
well and then earn some more pinch hit opportunities or something. And that's fine. Like I hope that's what happens because that means he's playing well. But even if he doesn't, he's a guy that if there's a time where Mason Wynn gets hit in the hand and he's out for 2 or 3 games because of it, you have a guy that's going to be able to not hurt you when he goes out there.
Right,
Like he's
right.
gonna go
Agreed.
out there, he's gonna make every play, and he might come up with a big hit. Like that's not surprising. He's done that a lot against the Cardinals. So um I like it. I like Brandon Crawford a lot, just in general. He has really cool. His hair is great. He has really good flow. He has good style on the field. I like it. At least he's a more like Matt Carpenter. I love Matt Carpenter. He's kind of boring to look at. So I at least Brandon Crawford is going to be cool to look at in
Got
that
the
jersey.
salsa.
He does.
Okay. One thing we haven't talked about that was kind of big news a little bit ago, but as every news cycle as it moves on, and does always just it seems like every time he talks, it makes me question a lot of things. And I love him on the field, and I love everything that he does, and I'm glad that he's here. But the Nolan Arenado comments just continue to make you scratch your head when he does an interview and speaks out. It really does.
Yeah. Well, specifically what he said was young guys were overrunning the clubhouse, not in a bad way, which, like you're saying, it was bad. So you can say
Yeah.
it not in a bad way, but you wouldn't be saying it in this way if it wasn't bad to you. And that they needed more veterans because him and Goldie weren't vocal. And then the next day he did come out and say to Jim Hayes that like he wants to be more vocal. It's something he's working towards, but that he was recognizing he's not really that guy right now. So that's at least he has some self-awareness in that aspect. Um, I don't like the comments. I don't think it makes much sense because he kind of said the team was really young. It wasn't all that young. Like the Orioles were doing just fine. They're significantly
They won
younger than the
100 games.
Cardinals. Yeah. And for me, like I had multiple questions when this came out, and this is so long ago now. But one, why did you guys let this happen? Why did you let them overrun the clubhouse? Like why? How does not one of you stand up and say, "Hey, enough"? Like not one of you. Wainwright, where were you? I don't care that you were hurt. You've been playing for 20 years. Like, and Wilson Contreras might have been that guy, but you didn't let him do that. Goldie, Miles Michaelis, Nolan, all these guys. Not one
Tommy,
of
I
you
mean,
could have
Tommy's
stepped
been in the
up.
league for 5 years.
Yeah, but that's not Tommy's job. He's not the superstar of the team.
I understand that neither's Miles or Wayno at that point in time, but I understand like there are guys who've
I
been in
get
the
it,
league for a
but
while.
he has been around long enough. But
Paul DeYoung
like,
was there early on.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's plenty of guys that could have done
Yeah.
it. Even like one of the younger guys, if there was a problem, I don't know. But my biggest problem with it was like what are young guys like Brandon Donovan? One of the big storylines of this offseason has been him ascending into that leadership role. That's been talked about by a lot of guys. Mason Wynn, I think, talked about it again yesterday, like how much he looks up to Brendan Donovan and the way he plays. And there's been a lot of stuff about that. So, what does that say to guys like Donovan, guys like Walker that are coming into their own that want to take that leadership role? And now
Foreman.
you're seeing your guys say young guys are taking over the clubhouse, and that's a problem. I don't like that part of it more than anything else, more than
Agreed.
the how old the team actually was versus how old Nolan thought the team was. Take away all that, that's whatever. But that part of it to me, I'm like, well, dude, what are you saying? And even I do think sometimes he says things that maybe he doesn't really mean how they come off because he has a camera shoved in his face and he's not a public speaker. But even then, I hate that. I think it's
Every
just
time.
bad. I don't like it.
You know what teams don't have this problem? Teams that win.
Yep. Mhm.
That's end of story right there. Teams that win and have a winning culture don't have this problem. That makes me really concerned about the culture of that clubhouse, even still.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
Hope
Like
not. Hope not.
well, Dad, they have Brandon Crawford, Matt Carpenter, Sonny Gray, Miles Michaelis, and not Miles Michaelis, sorry, Kyle Gibson and Lance Lynn. If that doesn't solve the leadership problem,
I
I don't
get
know
it.
what
But Gib, a
can.
lot of those guys are out. Like this is they're new to the clubhouse. Like I know Carpenter's been there before. I
It doesn't
know
matter. It
like
doesn't matter.
I hope you're right. So what you're telling me is there are now no excuses. Zero
There
excuses.
weren't, and I don't think there should have been any excuses last year, but now there
We
definitely
agree.
aren't.
We agree.
Um, but I do want to say one thing because there was a topic that I forgot we should have talked about. Sonny Gray made his first start today. Looked fine. It was who cares? First spring training start, 2 innings, didn't give up a run. Okay. Um, Did you see his bullpen where he was like yelling at himself and like
Yes.
saying
Yes.
like I loved that. I love that.
Same.
And there was a cool story that Derek Gold talked about in his podcast. He said something about how they went in his Sonny's first live BP. He was facing I don't know who he's facing, but Wilson was catching him, and Wilson was calling pitches, and there'd be pitches that Sonny didn't like it would be like a slider when he wanted a sinker or something like that. He said Sonny was like coaching him through it, like, "Hey, I like what you're thinking, but this is what I'm thinking, so don't do that." And he was like the hitters were confused because Sonny was just yelling fastball, like he was like, "This is what I'm throwing," so I like that. I think Sonny's really hit the ground running when it comes to leadership, just like from what I've seen. And I think he's going to be a really good leader of the staff, even if, he's not the Cy Young version of himself or runner up, I guess. But I like what I've seen from him so far. And I think they went the right way by bringing him in.
I would buy a jersey if MLB didn't absolutely fucking ruin them. How?
Oh my gosh.
How? That
Oh,
they
Dad, I
got to
can't even talk
rectify
about
that, right? They're
this.
going to fix that. Am I correct?
No,
Like,
they're not. Why would they? Why would they fix it?
how can you be that tone deaf and that they look like, bro? You had nicer jerseys on your 12 and 13 U team.
Yeah, and you want to hear the craziest part of it, other than the fact that the pants are see-through, and we literally saw. I'm not going to say their names because I don't want you guys to look it up because those poor guys don't need that out there anymore.
Yes.
We literally saw multiple players' balls, like those were
Yes.
out. We saw them.
What's all over
Which, by the
Twitter?
way,
You don't
wear
have to
better
go far.
also wear better underwear. Like why we shouldn't be able to see that,
I think a
even
lot of
if
players
these are
don't
bad.
wear underwear. I think that's the
Well,
problem.
I can tell you one player that definitely doesn't, but I won't. Um,
Yep.
and the fact that the letters are all weird and they
Or
look like the
they
cheap
look
ones
like,
you get jersey giveaways.
yes, or slow pitch softball.
You want to hear the biggest joke of it all? Brandon Crawford doesn't have a jersey because they're behind on manufacturing. So
Yes.
he's wearing number 35. I think they said they're going to have to give him like a number in the 60s to start. And Keenan Middleton, everyone thought he was number 99 for the first literally like 2.5 weeks of spring training. And then he showed up wearing number 93 because that's the number he originally picked. But they just didn't have it yet. It had been like over a month since he had signed
Is
until he got his jersey.
obviously I'm not expecting you to know this question or this answer, but you might. Is this a Nike problem or is this an MLB problem or both? Because remember last year the Cardinals
Fanatics.
couldn't wear the light blues for the first 2 months because they were
Mhm.
behind. Remember? Are we not? Do we
Yeah.
have a problem with a guy who's supposed to be ordering jerseys for St. Louis that he's not doing his job? Like go
No,
to
it's not.
the DH gate like in January, you'll have them by March.
It's not him. The Fanatics. So the way that the jerseys are working, from my understanding, I could be a little bit off here, but this is what I have read and heard, is that Nike is paying basically for their logo to be on it and to be like a Nike Vapor jersey. It's like that's just the design. But Fanatics is the one that actually produces and makes and designs all the jerseys to send them out. And they have to be okayed by Nike and everything. So it is Fanatics that's actually running the show. And they've messed up jerseys a lot of the time. So
Like
I
Foot
don't know.
Locker. Like this is hilarious. Like a store at the mall is like running MLB like jerseys. That is that dude, by the way, who owns Fanatics is worth like over $1 billion. I mean, the company
Oh
is.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
easy. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, it's not. I don't know if it's them cheaping out. I think they're just like. I don't know who looked at those the lettering. I can't get over it. The
no,
lettering just looks so bad. Like, look at the Willie McGee jersey behind you.
I know.
That why would you have to change that? That's DH gate, by the way. That's how
Yeah,
good they did.
it is.
Fanatics.
Thank you for
That's from
talking about my
that's from
flaw.
China. That costs $30 from China. You're charging $300 from American made stuff that
Yeah,
looks worse than that.
yeah.
Explain.
If I go to DH Gate right now, can I get last year's jerseys? Will it make,
I
can I,
was wondering that too because I was gonna
like, I
buy a
don't want the
Gorman one.
24, I want the 23 version.
I think I'm just waiting till 2025 because I think they'll have to fix it because they're
By
going
then,
to
who
see
knows what
drops
they'll
in
look
their
like?
jersey sales. They're going to.
They literally look like it should say 69 and Fat Joe on it. Like that's
It was
the guy
bad.
playing first base at the beer league softball on Friday
Or
night.
the guy that shows up with like a number one grandpa shirt he got from like a day that was a Cardinals
His
giveaway.
dad and one. Yes, our
Yeah,
grandpa.
there's
Bingo.
something
You
like
are
that.
correct.
Exactly. Yeah.
Um, all right. So before we move on to the Cardinals and come back to you, I just kind of want to hit on this. Obviously, Cody Bellinger signs with the Cubs. We saw that. I think that
Mhm.
was I mean, I don't think he had many other options, but I think we kind of knew that.
He had
There
no
were
other
two,
options.
right. Two opt outs. I think I read correct. Two opt outs there. But are
Mhm.
you still shocked? No Jordan Montgomery, no Blake Snell, no Matt Chapman, no JD Martinez, no Adam Duvall. I mean, those are five big names.
And just throw Adam Duvall in there with the
Lovey.
other
I
four.
well that
Mhm.
I mean you're talking about a former All-Star not too long
He's a
ago.
good player. He
And
was
a
good
guy who
last
was in
year.
the home run derby, a guy who hit 30 home runs for Atlanta 2 years ago, 3 years ago, two
Mhm.
years ago.
Won a Gold Glove
Like,
too.
correct. Like, yes, that is a guy I am shocked that is not on a big league roster right now.
Tommy Pham hasn't even gotten an offer according to him. So yeah, it is weird because like especially the top three, I mean top four you named, it's strange, but
Shot at
this
Adam
is what
Duvall. Don't
Boris
like it.
does. I think a lot of people are misreading this though. Like it's like, oh, Boris does this every year, and he does. Like every couple of years, he'll have two or three guys out on the market, but they ultimately get paid what they are worth. I don't see that this year. I don't see Snell getting what he wants. I don't see Monty getting what he wants. And I really don't see JD Martinez getting what he wants. Like so, I just and Matt Chapman. There's no way. Like who needs a third baseman?
Can I ask you a question?
Hmm.
JD Martinez would have been a nice fit here in St. Louis.
He has to play every day. Like he's too good not to.
That can't be your almost everyday, I mean,
Do you want
DH.
Gorman to play every day? Because if you do, then no.
You not, I mean, JD
I mean,
Martinez, yes, I do, but do you see what I'm saying? Like,
I'm not in on JD Martinez hype.
okay, all right.
Like, and I
When you
think he's
think
a really, really great hitter. But the problem is, 2022, he looked like he was like on the outs. In 2023, he bounced back. I've seen this happen a few times. Brandon Crawford, who we were just talking about,
correct.
where they seem to have like one last hurrah where they're great again, and then it's gone again. So I'm
Yeah.
a little bit worried about that
Got a feeling that Montgomery ends up with a shorter year,
in
higher
Boston.
AAV in Boston, right? Like,
It
I
has to
mean,
be.
he's almost begging them to sign him.
No,
And they
not almost. He is.
and then don't you
It's
believe
weird.
Blake Snell ends up in with the Angels, right? Like
I don't know.
that's just they're gonna sign him. Like that
I don't
makes
know.
sense.
I don't know what. I don't know, man. Like, who should go after him if it's a short term deal? The Orioles. They just lost
I mean,
Kyle Bradish.
Boris is a season ticket holder in LA with the Angels. That just seems to me to make a lot of sense. That's where Blake Snell ends up. I have no idea where JD Martinez ends up.
I, yeah, I mean, Blake Snell is weird though because for the Angels, because they have like already three lefties in their rotation. You want four? I don't think so. Um,
I mean, you
yeah,
need one that's a number one.
JD Martinez. I don't know. I think Mets. I've heard. I honestly like JD Martinez had a great year last year, but I also just like whatever where he goes, he goes. Matt Chapman's interesting to me because like if I'm him. I think I'm taking a 1 year deal to go back to Toronto and I'm resetting my market because he had such a bad second half last year that if he can just be an 8-10 OPS guy with the defense he's always shown, then he's going to get paid a lot. But the risk of that is Alex Bregman's a free agent last year. So
Yeah,
you'll once again be the second most sought after third
right.
baseman, and that could be tough, but I don't
Yep.
know.
By the way, also Adam Duvall instead of Matt Carpenter would have been a nice fit here in St. Louis.
Mhm. Yeah, but
Like,
a guy like Duval who's not at the end of his career, well, maybe he might be. I don't know. He's gonna want to play every day so he can get more money
I mean,
again
he's
the next
working out
year.
at Louisville.
You
Have
know,
you talked to Riley? Like, get us
I
some
haven't. He
insight.
went to Louisville, one of the
Hey,
best players Louisville ever.
I know. Hey, Riley, let me know how Adam Duvall is because he's there every day working out with them.
Probably doing well.
Um, so far, let's talk about this. So as we or through essentially just the first week of games. Which, by the way, Bally Sports show all of them. What are we doing?
Yeah, I
It's
don't get it.
freaking
It's not just Bally
2024.
Sports though, because I tried to go on MLB TV to watch the game today, and I was going to go through the Boston feed because I like their announcers, and I knew they weren't on
I
the
love
Cardinals,
their
and they weren't
announcers.
showing it either. NBC
Yeah, so
wasn't showing
the
it.
was it it was 2 days ago.
NBC. Is that what's it called?
Monday. Monday I tried to watch the Cardinal game and I
Mhm.
have literally every channel in the world. Like you know that. We have every channel in the world. The Cardinal Astro game wasn't even on. I couldn't get it through the
Mhm.
Astro feed or the Cardinal feed or anywhere else. It was unbelievable.
Nope.
Anyway, through the first week, anything obviously this is overreaction for no reason. But anything that stood out to you that you've really liked, anything that stood out to you that you went, "Oh, that's nice to see," or anything that has stood out to you where you said, "Ah, I don't really definitely love that."
I've got three things that come to
Oh,
mind.
I asked three questions, so that's great.
Okay, they're not. They don't answer all your questions. They're all positive, actually, because it's spring training. Might as well be positive. I got three things. One, Mason Wynn. Actually, well, I'll combine the first one. So I got two things. Mason Wynn and Victor Scott are very exciting to watch play baseball, and whether or not they end up being amazing, productive, production wise this year or not, I don't really care. They're a lot of fun to watch. I very much enjoy those two. That like they really are like it's kind of like a cop out to say Whitey ball and lump those two into that conversation because I almost think that's just comparing one to Willie McGee and the other one to Ozzy, and that's not fair. But I do think they are a throwback in terms of like just pure athleticism and not just using your raw tools on the field as much as possible. So I enjoy those two. And my last thing is Cooper Jerpy was throwing 93 today, and he was like topping out 89, 90 almost most of last year. And dude, he had 70% whiff rate today. Like if he can figure that out and stay at that velocity, man, he's gonna be exciting. And he could end up being the number one pitching prospect, even over Hentz or Roby, because he has that much potential. So those are a couple things I've noticed, but nothing. And Riley O'Brien looks really good. He'll probably make the bullpen.
I think we were hopeful of that. Like we had heard that. It's nice to see him. That sinker is filthy.
Fast too.
Woo!
Turbo sinker.
Win the other day, 3 for 3, stolen base, and an absolute dart of a throw from shortstop.
It's insane. His
I
arm's
mean,
insane.
the ceiling. I think again, the ceiling continues to maybe grow or raise or rise, whatever you want to say there. I think we thought the ceiling was maybe lower for him.
I
I
didn't.
think Well, I think a lot of people did. I think a lot of people did. I think that ceiling might continue to just be expanded with each year that he grows and just gets more confident and more playing time, obviously.
Yeah. It all just depends on how honestly he needs to get bigger, if we're being honest. If he's gonna consistently hit the ball as hard as he needs to get bigger. Lindor had a similar thing where he just needed to get bigger. And he did that and now he's Lindor. I'm not saying he's going to be Lindor, but you know what I mean. And Victor Scott today, another fun stat, hardest hit of the game, hardest throw in the game and fastest sprint speed. So that's fun. He like
I'm going to Memphis.
you got two of the most toolsy athletic prospects they've had in my lifetime right now, and it's pretty exciting.
I'm gonna talk your mom into going. So if you want to come down and we can go, you can meet us halfway. Obviously, well, you meet us in Memphis. I want to go to Memphis for a weekend and go to a couple games because I really want to see Victor. I want to see Thomas. Might get Burley there. Might get Luke and Baker there. Might get who knows who's going to be there. And then that pitching staff should be really fun
They
in
have
Memphis.
like 12 starters. I don't know how they're going to divvy that up.
I know.
I had one
Who's
more
the
thing for
who's
you.
hold on? Who's the manager at AAA right now?
I don't know. You just caught me in something I have no
Probably
idea
something
about.
you should have known.
Why didn't you know it?
Know that. I feel like we should know that. You finish and I'll find that out because I feel really dumb for not knowing that.
Okay, the last thing I wanted to say, not say, something I wanted to ask you about, because it's a conversation that as Victor continues to look good and do exciting things on the field, the conversation is going to continue to come up on whether or not he has a chance to make the team out of spring training. I wanted to ask you if one, you think he has a chance, and two, you think he should have a chance. Those are my two questions for you.
I'm sorry. I literally lost all focus there. Ben
Okay,
Johnson.
dude, just get off of it. No one cares. Who? Matt
Ben
Johnson?
Johnson. Yeah.
Ben Johnson. Okay, cool.
Okay.
I'll
So now
start
ask me
over
that again. I
now that
apologize.
we know the manager of the team we're not covering.
We might be. Who knows? We might be
I
soon.
guess. Yeah, maybe we're gonna have to if you keep doing shit like that. Okay, here's what I'm gonna say. All right. Victor Scott, as he continues to have success and do cool things like we just talked about, people are gonna keep saying he should make the team or asking if he should or not. I have two questions for you. Listen closely.
I got you. I'm on it.
Okay. One, should he have a chance to make the team? And two, Do you think he has a chance to make the team? So those are two different questions. Go.
Should he have a chance? Yes. I think anybody at spring training, if they show they are ready, i.e. Jackson Holiday, right, should have a chance. Do I think it would behoove him to get 40 to 50 potentially or more games at AAA? Yes, I do believe that that would be good for him to go ahead and start the season at AAA. But do I believe that if he comes out and just absolutely goes crazy, that you should say, hey, maybe? Yes, I do believe that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I don't agree with you, but yeah, what you said makes sense. I don't agree, and here's why. This is my only reason why. Not because one, I don't think he can play his way into it. All of that, fine. A lot of people are using Tommy Edmonds' injury as a reason for this. My biggest problem with that specifically is Tommy Edmonds will be back in like at the most a month, but probably 3 weeks, 2 weeks after the season starts, if he's even out at all. Are you just going to send Scott back down when Tommy's back? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, wouldn't you rather have Carlson for 2 weeks? Like, for me, they're not going to bench Tommy Edmond. Like whether or not you think they should or it makes sense, they're not going to do it. So, what's Victor Scott's role if there's no injury? Like, there's not. He's going to have to go
I,
back down, and I don't want that to happen.
I agree with that. I just don't like the way you phrase that. You're right, but I don't like the fact that no matter how fucking good Victor Scott is, it doesn't matter because they're going to play Tommy Edmond. I don't like that.
It's
That's
also
again
like
not
I'm
what
at a
winning
point.
teams do.
I'm at a point with spring training where I just don't care.
I agree. That's why I
Tommy
think
Taylor Motter made the team last year because he was good in spring training. I've stopped caring. I don't
no,
care if you're
I
the best
agree.
player in the world. I remember one year we did our first fantasy draft together, Dad, and we drafted like Anthony Bastardo because he looked good in a game and for the Pirates or
I don't think
something.
I don't think I've ever drafted Anthony
We
Bastardo.
did. We did. And you're like, this guy look. No, you know who it was? It was
I know.
Dominic
Don't pawn
Brown.
that off on
It was
me. You
it
were
was
getting ready to pawn that off on
no, it
me.
was Dominic Brown. That's who it was.
Okay,
Remember the
now we're
Phillies
talking.
outfielder?
Yes.
And I drafted Anthony Bastardo once. That was me.
Okay.
Dominic Brown is who it was. Um, I don't care, dude. Like, I don't at all. I'm sorry. And even these people that are like, oh, this guy had a great spring and this team's using service time manipulation to keep him down. Well, not really. Like, Jordan Walker was great for the first half of last spring, bad for the last half of it. And we brought him up and then sent him back down. Like, I just,
You're talking to the guy who fell in love with Willie Mopena, Austin Kearns, Billy Butler, and
Billy
Justin
Butler.
Wilson every year in fantasy. Those were the guys I had to have. And the shortstop for the Angels, I cannot remember his name right now. Somebody will get me on this.
Okay.
Who at AAA just went crazy every year at 50 home runs and then came up to the big leagues and never did anything. So
Yeah,
I'm with you. I
yeah.
think Victor Scott should be at AAA. Yes.
I just like what could he do to impress enough to say that he has
I,
earned the chance over the 5 years that Tommy Edmond has put in to earn his
so let me ask you this then. What does it take to get him on the big league roster?
an
Final question.
injury.
Okay. That's it.
It's an injury. It's an injury that
Even
makes
that
Tommy
would
Edmond be an infielder or move somewhere. That's what it would be.
but wouldn't even that injury mean Dylan Carlson then becomes your center fielder?
Not if you think that Victor's a better option at that
Okay.
point. You could platoon him if
But
you
yet
wanted
we
to.
have an injury now, and that's not going to do it, you're saying.
Yeah, it was because Tommy's gonna be back
Okay.
like soon.
Okay.
Like
What
it would
what
take an
if
injury.
what if Victor makes the team, Tommy's out a month, and he's like setting the world on fire for a month? What would you do?
Then you figure
Tommy
something. Then
Edmond
you
would have to be on
trade
the bench.
someone. You make a trade.
Yeah, you'd have to. I think you're right. But not allowed to
Or
trade
no,
the guy on
actually,
the
you know what
first
you do?
month of
You
the season.
DFA Brandon Crawford and Tommy Edmonds now your backup shortstop.
There you go. There we
Or
go.
he
See,
moves it straight into shortstop and Mason Wynn goes down if he's not performing.
there
Like
we
that would
go.
be how. But I don't think he makes the team. Like I just don't think it makes any sense.
Yeah.
I don't. He might be ready. I don't think he is offensively. I think there's still some stuff he needs to go through at AAA. Just like you're gonna be facing more refined pitching, more lefties probably. Like he needs to get better at some of that stuff.
I think after the Jordan Walker debacle at the beginning of the year last year, the way they handled that, they're not going to, my hope is they're not going to do that again with Victor Scott. That's my hope.
Yeah. Like, and I honestly like last year if they were winning, I don't think they sent Walker down. I think that was purely a panic thing. Um, but yeah, another aspect of all this stuff we've talked about, including Crawford and all this, is that they are actually making a concerted effort to do what they said and give guys like what am I trying to say? Continuity in where they're playing every single day. Like I don't know what that means for platoons because we know they like their platoons. Um, but we just talked about they don't even have that many righties, so you can't like
Right.
platoon Gorman, Donovan, and Newpar. You just can't. You don't have the guys to do it. But I do like that. I like that they're gonna go out there at least for the first month. Like if it's the first month and Nolan Gorman just looks awful against lefties, then yeah, you have to take that into consideration and move him off of that. But I do like the idea that hey, you just saw what the Braves did. You know, they have guys out there every day. I'm not saying they have Atlanta Braves players, but find out, man. Find out
Right.
what
Baker.
Gorman, Donovan, and Newbar can do against left-handed pitching. If it doesn't look good, it doesn't look good. But what if it does, and you just found three guys that you can plug in every single day? What if Donovan can be a leadoff hitter against both sides, against righties and lefties? You don't know because you haven't let him try. So I really hope that's the place they're getting to now.
I agree. I agree. Couple other things before we get out of here. Shout out to you and the UI7. Is that right? UI7 news. You got to go check out Caleb. First week, he wore a suit that made him look like David Byrne from the Talking Heads. That thing looked like it was about
It was
48
huge.
sizes too big on him.
I was sweating too. It was so hot. I'm not wearing that thing again.
Caleb has been covering the University of Illinois tennis and killing it. Also now doing baseball. Also doing well there. So look at you. You're now a TV spokesperson.
I was in the bathroom for 20 minutes yesterday before the show started trying to put a tie on, and I just gave up.
You
I
went
don't know
no
how to
tie.
do it.
Smart move, by the way. No one should have. I don't understand why we're still wearing ties in 2024.
I would have looked better, but I didn't. I
And
can't do it. It like I was
most
following videos step by step, and it wasn't working.
first of all, so easy. Like over, around, under, through. That's literally
It was backwards every time. I don't know what I
but
was doing wrong.
to be fair to you, I still either have to which I only wear these like once every 10 years. I either have to watch the YouTube video again, or B, I just undo them and then lift them over my neck. So I never have to retie them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So you
well,
kind of pull it down enough to get over the.
it's gonna be hard to do that when you can't tie it the first time,
Well,
isn't
yeah,
it?
I agree. But I just go no tie. Like, first of all, I don't know why we're still wearing those. Most overrated accessory in any person's wardrobe
I
is
don't
a
even think they look that good either.
no,
Like
they're
this one,
terrible.
it's whatever.
They're garbage. And
Yeah,
they're a ripoff. They're so expensive. I own
I
one
don't know.
pair
I
of all
stole it from
ties,
Grandpa.
bro. I don't own any ties.
I just stole mine from my grandpa.
Anyway, go check Caleb out on the UI7 news. It's really good stuff. And also, if you're a tennis fan, there you go. University of Illinois tennis, very good. Baseball, we'll see.
One today, one
Yeah.
today.
Well, they played Eastern.
Yeah, hadn't I found out like they hadn't beat him in like 5 years.
That's sad.
That's what I said.
Anything else? Blues lost tonight. Anything else we need to get to before we get out of here?
Not the Blues because I don't want to talk about them.
Pels won. Pels won at the Knicks. Finally, after two bad games, destroyed the Knicks tonight.
Yeah, that I think that one was for Stephen A.
Yeah, yeah, bro, that guy stepped right in it.
Let's not get into that. Let's not get into that. Yeah, no, let's not. He has a lot of power in the industry I want to go into, so we're not going to get
No, no,
into
no.
it.
First of all, big fan of Stephen A. Just really misguided in what he said, and that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I think Antonio Daniels handled that very well. I'm
He
a big
did.
fan of him.
That's love that
Um,
man.
I don't know if I have anything else for the Cardinals. Like, wait and see. Sometime we're gonna get back into the profiles, but I think we're gonna do like maybe three more and lump people together just to
Smart.
make more sense.
Yes.
Um, I don't know where we're gonna go after that. Like if something happens, we'll talk about it. Like knock on wood, hopefully an injury doesn't happen. One noteworthy thing is Steven Matz is like I haven't heard anything about him. Like they like said they're holding him back a little bit. So that's always something that I like. That's what they said about Miles Michaelis, and then he was out for like the entire year.
Right.
So that is something I'm like at least monitoring is the how little I've heard about Matz and Michaelis is to see if there's anything there. There might not be, but it's worth at least paying attention to.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'm sweating. It is so you want to hear one before we go. You want to hear something stupid? This place puts heat locks on your thermostats. It is 70 degrees outside and it's 74 in here, and I think I'm gonna die.
You can't turn it down.
I have it set on 65 degrees right now, and it's 74 in here. It's just not working because they're overwriting it. Dude, I swear this shirt's gonna I'm not gonna be able to wear a shirt ever again. It's probably shrinking. It's probably shrinking. I'm
Well,
sweating so much.
tomorrow it's gonna be like 40 there or 30. So
Yeah, and then it's gonna cold lock or something stupid, and it's gonna actually goes down to
it'll
65
be
like I thought it
65,
would.
shut you off, and you'll be freezing.
I'd rather be 65 than 74. I
Yeah.
really would.
Agreed. Anytime.
I'm about to
Anytime.
open the door and go stand out there in the tornado we're about to get.
I would do so. Hold up one of those golf clubs.
Oh, yeah, you want me to die? That's nice. Well, should I stick a knife in the outlet too? Is that what you want?
No, I wouldn't do that. I would. By the way, this man didn't know that there was what is it, a GFI on your thing to click to get power back. You were just gonna go with no power around your sink for the rest of your life.
No, it's not that I didn't know that that was a thing. I just like there. So the way it works is there's like
Whoa,
the one
rewind.
is way over there. What?
You did not know it was a
I
thing.
knew what they were. I had to reset it all the time in our bathroom at home. But there was one over there and that has it and it's like way far away. And the three here that are connected don't have one. So I just never went over there and looked. And it's like right by the
Okay.
fridge.
Well, we're safe now, so that's good.
Yeah, I'm charging my phone with it now, actually.
Okay, good. Glad to hear. All right, let's get out of here.
Okay, wait, before we go.
Oh
Brandon
God.
Crawford, give me a lighter grade on the Brandon Crawford signing.
I mean, it's a B.
B. Wow, okay. I'd go
I
C.
mean,
That's fine. It's
that's
like the most average signing I think you could ever make in your life.
it makes sense, so that's why I would give it a B.
I guess he's not bad. C plus. How about that?
Yeah, that's fine. B minus, C plus. I
Will
don't
he
care.
make a positive impact or will he be DFA'd?
TBD.
I know I want a prediction.
I have no clue. I mean, I
Okay,
can't
but
give you
that's
that
well,
answer.
none of us have any clue what's going to happen in the
My guess
future,
is
but I
he
want
gets
you to guess.
500 at bats. Him and Carpenter.
Combined?
Come on, each.
That's way too much. That's way too much. 500 combined is too much. So do you think there's going to be like people are worried about this? This is the last thing we can get into, and then we can go. That he's going to play too much. Do you think that might end up being an issue?
I don't think so. I think the only way that happens is if Mason mightily struggles or if he gets hurt. I think that's
What
the
will
only.
your what will your reaction be the first time it's a ninth inning and Mason Wynn's coming up to bat against a tough righty and Brandon Crawford comes in to pinch it because it's going to happen.
Click,
Let's
click.
turn off grand
That's
walk
it.
off grand slam and you miss it.
Click. Yep, it's going off. It's going off.
Okay. All right, let's get out of here
Oh God, I don't even know why you threw that out into the.
because it's going to happen.
But it's going. I said that about Matt Carpenter. Remember last
Like,
time I said
Mason,
that about Matt Carpenter.
well, now it won't be Matt Carpenter. It'll be Brandon Crawford. Oh,
Game
they're gonna find
one,
it. They're gonna
game
find a way to do both.
game 25 lineup. Crawford's leading off and Carpenter's hitting second.
Well, I must no. Remember, Matt Carpenter can only bat lead off.
Oh, that's right. Flip him. Carpenter, then Crawford. There we go.
All
All
right,
right,
let's
let's
get
get
out
out
of
of here.
here.
Thank you guys again so much for everything. You're the best. We are so happy to be back. We apologize. We already got into that. We don't need to continue that. Hit that subscribe
Why are
button
you?
on YouTube, and we will talk to you soon. Go Cards.